So Wing Chun sparring is very different than like boxers spar, where they like kind of go back and forth and do this in and out thing. Once we close this distance, we want to go in and stay in and finish. So if I'm trying to go in and you're going to back up, get out of the way, I don't let you back up. I keep going in. I keep my footwork defending my center as I'm going forward. Let's say if I step forward and you take an angle off on me, I want to still be able to deal with that. I'm going through your stance with my legs. So that's really the main idea is the opponent withdraws or retreats, you follow through. You don't let him take advantage of it. And our footwork is omnidirectional. That's what we have. I want to be able to go in any direction. You can step on your foot and keep it from going away also. So let's say if I'm just going to step forward with my right side and you step to your right. I should still be able to step and follow in that direction. So I stepped with my right foot and was able to go with my left. If I step in with my right foot again and you go this way, I can still follow in with my footwork. So I can step in with my right side as you're stepping over here. My left foot can step through this way. So you're doing passing steps, basically. Instead of going just straight sideways, try to cut an angle on me. So when I go in, try to get more towards my shoulder. So as I do that, I can still turn like all the way around and still get you. Right? If we do that and do the same thing, cutting this angle, the whole time I'm still using the same leg going in front. So whether it's left or right sides of me stepping, it doesn't matter. All that works for just one side on me. I can do the same thing with my left leg too. So if you cut to this shoulder, I want to go in and I still have that. So I'm still going to be able to change directions, go into you and attack. And you have to do that with your simultaneous attack and defense ability. So you're not just going to move out of the way, you're going to move and try to hit at the same time. So let's say if you're the Wing Chun guy and you're stepping and punching at me, and you're going to do that, I can do this kind of thing, right? It's quick. So as that punch comes in, I want to move that, and that's what you want to do. But you want to stay with me and don't let me get away, right? I'm able to get distance. I can now throw kicks. I can do a lot of different stuff. Or you could even shoot down and try to do a takedown too. So once you come in, you want to get out. You want to not let him get away. You can grab onto him, step on his foot, just stick to him. Once we've covered that distance, you don't want to have to do that again. That's the dangerous part of the fight in the first place, and we only want to have to do that one time. So as this goes in, I'm not trying to back up. You just stay on me. Exactly. If I try to get away fast, you want to be able to cover that as quickly as you can. And a lot of it has to do with your footwork and how you position yourself. So if you have to do kind of a stutter step to go forward, it's too slow. You want to be able just to shoot in and keep going in. It's basically like walking. If you go forward, just keep coming in. Yes. You stay covered down the center, so even if I try to pick a leg up, you're in my center, I'm not in yours. So that kind of thing is what we're trying to do in our Wing Chun sparring. We don't go like 5-minute rounds of back and forth, back and forth. That's not how Wing Chun works. Wing Chun is trying to go in and take this person out, immediately not give them any options. We're not allowing them to play their game and use their skill set against us. We force them to play our game. We're not boxers. We're not boxing, sparring. We're doing Wing Chun and just finishing the fight. So there is no back and forth trying to deal with this kind of thing. We don't do that. So you have to be more experienced at that than the person you're fighting, and that's not what we do. You don't box a boxer, you don't wrestle a wrestler, you don't kick a kicker, you don't grapple a grappler, all that kind of stuff, right? When we go in, if he's backing up, you go in. It's kind of hard to kick forward and back up at the same time. People could maybe do it, but you have defenses for that, right? Same thing if I'm trying to take an angle with the punch, that's what you want. Now this is too far away to hit you. So as long as you can go forward and advance, that's what you're wanting. If this starts to punch in, you have that, or this one could have done that. So you're fine here. If I start punching the backhand, you're there. I'm trying to move. So you stay very aggressive. It's very violent, but he shouldn't have attacked you, right? We're not wanting to start fights, but we definitely finish them. If he did something that caused me to have to step and punch at him, I'm going to make sure that's the last time that has to happen. So if it caused me to actually have to attack him, there's a motto in Wing Chun: fight with no mercy. If you're gonna have mercy, you don't fight. So if I'm gonna be nice to this guy, there's no nice way to hit somebody. So if I'm gonna hit him, I'm really gonna hit him and attack with very bad things, right? So that's what you wanna do. If I go in, you can move forward. But don't occupy both your hands too much to be able to go in, so you can do that with one hand. Okay. There are techniques where you use both, but for this particular thing, it's a little bit too much in front. You want to have the other hand there in case he's trying to throw other things. Right? If I try to throw a kick, you still have all of those tool sets. You have your footwork you can do to move around it. You can use your arms to defend, scoop up their leg. Already done all that kind of stuff. If I throw a low punch, you already know how to deal with that. If I try to move back to throw something else, whether it's this, try to throw a kick, you want to circle or go in or even try to jam it with your leg. Just go forward. As long as you go forward and meet what's coming in, that's one of the 4 fundamental principles. The ways clear, go forward. The ways obstructed, you stick to what you contact. You go in and touch. And if he's going to withdraw or retreat, you follow in and don't let him back up. Don't let him get away from you. And a lot of it's the footwork, which a lot of Wing Chun people don't have. So if you can go in, that's what you want. On this one punch, you're already here. That's what you want. On this one punch, you're already there. I'm going to try to get another hit. You're already inside and you're just continuing to attack. Once you've been able to go in successfully, you have to press that advantage and end it there. You can't play this game of going back and forth. He might be able to take a hit from you, but you might not be able to take a hit from him. So once you've gone in and hit him, keep hitting him and make sure it's effective. We can't play this game back and forth. This wants to be something that works. If I'm going to try to punch, it should already be like that. Make his head snap back, give him whiplash. So no matter how this comes in, or if I'm going to try to be a little bit more tricky, try not to play the game of moving around too much with zapping. So if I'm moving around, I have to set up to punch. That's what you go in on. I have to set up to kick. That's what you go in on. That's what you good. So you take advantage of that pre-motion to cover distance, and that's where you take them out. Whether it's this kind of punch, or whether it's another Wing Chun person coming in, right? Where he's kicking down your center, or he's going more around with it, or he's going to try to be more tight. You just have all this stuff. He's going to try to kick at your legs, or just go in. He's going to try to kick at your chest, you just go in. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. And us doing what we just did, that was a lot of different rounds. Like, this is, you do a few chain punches, like do some attacks here. So when you've like done your finishing attacks, that round's over. And then we go back and, like in a video game, you respawn, right? Now we're starting over full health, then you attack, and he comes in. And if I attack and I try to defend, it's still going until there's an apparent winner. So don't get into a habit of doing this, where we're here, you keep trying to come in, I'm still attacking, and then we just give up and start over. No, somebody's got to come to a finish, and it's going to get kind of hairy, scary, violent, fast. Let's say if you're defending me, so I'm coming in, always get something up out of the way. Something's eventually going to get in, but it's going to take sticking with it, not quitting. You have to keep going through until it is finished. There has to be a definite winner. If there's not, you're not done. That round is still going. There's no bell. There's no, okay, well that was just bad, we're going to try to start over. But from here, where you haven't really hit yet, still do something. Move me somehow. Yeah, hitting kind of here, maybe if you were going to hit a little bit lower than that. But change. Move around at an angle and get a better shot. There you go. And then, of course, that always will finish it. So if you can still going, still going. I backed up, don't let me back up, come in. Right, so there's that habit because of boxing. When people back up, they also back up the other person. If you're gonna do that, keep running. This is not a sport, this is not a game. We are not gonna back up to start over. We don't like regroup. Once you get them to back off of you, their will to fight's over. They might be going to get a weapon or friends or whatever, but leave if you can. Or don't allow them to back up to get a weapon and get friends. So again, that Wing Chun principle, if they withdraw or retreat, you follow through and you don't let them get away. If I'm still trying to get away, you still keep going in, right? Until there's a definite winner in this outcome, right? So that's what you're wanting. And if I can still come out, I will. And you also get used to finishing like that. You get used to knowing when there's a definite winner of that fight. So if, let's say, you're going to continue from here, now it's like that, and then you do a few attacks, it should be apparent that you hit me, and you hit me in very vital places where that fight should be over at that point. For my training, the person that's dealing with that, it lets me feel what it feels like to actually be getting attacked in very bad ways, and how I might still defend that. So it's good for both the attacker and the defender. In the beginning, you might have the two partners have different roles. Where one's the attacker, the other person's the Wing Chun guy. Where I'm just throwing non-Wing Chun attacks, and you're just trying to train against that kind of thing. Versus we're both trying to win. And we're both going to try to deal with that kind of stuff. And that has to play with that distance a little bit more carefully, but the main point is that we're just going to go in, and whatever you have to do to get in there and finish it off, you do it. If I try to go in, let's say if we're going in again, and then you're going to try to back up and get away, I don't let that happen. I just keep walking in and getting. I, again, step on their feet. It makes it hard for them to get away. Yeah, let's say if we are a little bit over here, and I'm going to back this way. Yeah, as I go in, you try to get away from me. So if I'm attacking, I don't want to allow you to get away. I'm staying on top of you. Basically, you're going forward in a way that allows you just to walk on. It's not running, but it is chain passing steps. I want to be able to go in, and if he's trying to get away, he gets kicks. And most people know the 5 distances that we have in Wing Chun. Everybody's probably seen Eamon talk about that. You have kicking range, punching range, elbows and knees, what you would call like grappling, like judo throws, so you're throwing the person, and ground fighting on the ground. Starting at this distance, we're already at the longest range, so we have to worry about kicks from here to there. Once you've got inside that, now we're in punching range. But if he starts to back up, he moves back into kicking range, and I can step back into punching range. And that's another thing that we have in Wing Chun too, is a step is a kick, and a kick is a step. It's all the same thing. I can use my kicks to cover distance, I can use my steps to cover distance. I can use my steps to kick him too. So at any point through my step, I should be able to kick. I can still kick and attack. Right? Yeah, so that's how that works in Wing Chun. So you want to do that to me. If we're going to go in, you want to attack, 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 attack. It has to be an actual definite winner. So keep going. And now I won. But if that's coming in, still try to defend it somehow. There you go. And that's too far away for an elbow. Okay. So this is too far away for an elbow. Yep. And then you would kick. This is too far away. So you broke away just to like get rid of the guy. You're also dealing with a more advanced Wing Chun person too, so it's kind of fruitless. But for anybody else, you should stay on them. Don't try to get away, try to go in and keep going until the fight's over. Make them have to keep dealing with it. It's one thing to deal with somebody that is in their playground where they know how to use this distance very well and keep you out of range so they can throw kicks. Don't play that game with them. Get to where they are not comfortable with. Get close to them. Kind of takes my ability to kick you out of the game. especially if you can move in with your step and use your stance to stay through this whole time. I could be hitting, right? So it takes a lot of footwork practice and training, but it takes a lot of hand coordination. And it's like pretty much Vietman says a lot, or said a lot. Wing Chun's easy. All you have to do is coordinate your arms with your legs. But that's not so easy to do. That's what you get out of the Chum Q form, is your arms and legs attacking together. It's a full body attack. You really get that from the numbing. Your whole body moves in to create power, and it's coordinated. So when I do a pull, I can use my body turning to do that. Okay. Then at the same time, someone pushes on me, I can take that force and borrow it, come back and attack with my attacks. So that's how we do that. It's pretty cool. So yes. Say if I, there you go. Is that trust Gillen? Yeah, he was too. There you go. Make sure you watch out for that.
I should already done that.
Yeah. So if you go, just go. Yeah. You don't want to hesitate. If you're in this position and you're going to go, but then they do something that makes you feel like you don't want to go, just go anyway. Take the hesitation out and just go. I like to say curiosity killed the cat, but hesitation killed the squirrel. The squirrel will run out in front of the car on the road and not know which way he wants to go now and gets run over. So just go. No matter what happens, just go forward. There is room for backing up if I need to. If he's really coming in hard and deep and fast, we have to dissipate that force. But for the most part, we have to cover this distance. We're not safe here because he has all of his tools available. We're safe if we can cover that. Now you limit what he can do. This leg's covered, this arm's covered, his whole other side is over there behind his body, and I'm able to hit. It's kind of hard to be in a better position than that. So that's what we like to keep him in. If I can do my movement where it puts me here, that's what I would like to do on the first movement. So my stepping will go forward, but it will also kind of pivot me to the side. Our footwork is very dynamic. It's not stuck. Don't do that, where you're trying to have a leg in front and it's going to get kicked. We want to stay back in the character 2 stance as long as we can, because this keeps us ambidextrous. I can step with my right leg, I can step with my left leg. I don't know which one I'm going to need until he does something. Or until I do step in, and then I'm going to be able to curl around and change my angle for my step. In mid-step, we're still mobile. So we don't have 50-50 stance weight distribution. We don't have 70-30. We have 100-0. I'm able to kick with this. My body weight's here. Yeah, this leg weighs however much my leg weighs, but my body is not on it. If this gets swept, it doesn't affect my balance. If I put any weight on it, now it does. And that's not what I want. But with that, I'm able to transition where that's the new back leg. And this is lightning fast to be able to kick. And with this being the back leg, I can kick with that back leg as I shift onto this front leg. So you're not limited to which side you're able to kick with. It'll take a little bit longer to cover that distance, but it's a longer reach too. That would be something like, I'm going to step in and you're going to back up as I'm going forward. I can use that to step in, put weight there to cover distance with that next kick. And it could even be that I turn to do that side kick that we have in Chum Q, to do that part of the form. So you can cover a lot of range and distances with your kicks. Let's also say if you cut at an angle as I step in, you can still do side kicks to the side. While if we're going forward, you can kick at different angles. Let's say if I kick straight down the center, you're going to move to the side. Sorry. I can still kick like that, but you go the other way. Go the other way. So I can still kick like that. I can turn and go this way. And my hands, like in the form, as you go that way, it occupies your hands while I can kick in a very good position there. And you can also trip. with that curl in of the ankle. So the footwork is very dynamic. I have to definitely make a video just on the footwork. So, do you have any questions on this?
No, not really. It's something that I really do have to train more on.
Yeah, we even train to do this in class. Next class is here, which I think is going to be Tuesday. That sounds like what he was trying to say. So that first attack with the pull, that you launch them, that's good to do that back and forth. But then with people that you can trust to not break your face and wear on your mouth guard, right? Being able just to attack each other. So if we both are going to attack each other at the same time, you want to keep attacking. So attack violently, fast, hard, just go in. Go down too far. Alright, so you do that again. You see how that works? So just go straight forward going. So you don't anticipate what he's going to do. You don't know if he's going to be there or not. You're just going forward, and you run into whatever you run into. If the way is clear, you keep going forward. If we're going to go forward and I'm backing up, the way is clear, you keep coming in until it's over, right? And if you notice, we have a giant, big open space here. In reality, you might not have that much space. You can always back someone into a corner while you're still hitting. He shouldn't have attacked me. At this point, we're not worried about the morality of defending ourselves. I'm not going to be attacking somebody like this if he didn't earn it. So I'm not even thinking about the legality and rules of combat. This is just, if he had caused me to have to attack him, it's already, I have law on my side somehow. I'm not going to be going out starting fights. If this guy just comes up and starts attacking me, or like the knockout game that's been going around. So when he comes up to you in a grocery store, you're more aware of your surroundings. They're going to try to do something, and you catch them, and now they're actually going to come in and attack you. You don't have time to think about like the legality of anything. It's kind of already on your side. You're now defending yourself. There's cameras everywhere. They saw this person coming up, and you can have your hands more this way. It's still a Wing Chun kind of position, and then as that attack comes in, you're still in that good mode. And if he's trying to get away from you, you don't let him. Don't let him grab something off of the shelf and smack you with it, right? You do that. Smack him with it. So this is just going forward. You're trying to not cross too much and get attacked. Try to go in and attack for me. This comes in, you're just getting violent. So do that. So attack really well. So you're going. Yes. So if we're going, make sure you're punching on the first one. So that first movement we're doing, we're stepping and punching. And punching over the top, we're doing that step where we circle. Make sure you do that. Because if I just go straight, yes, there you go. That comes like that. You don't know if I'm going to kick or step. And that circle defends both of them. So the way that we cover distance, so we kind of cover those two things here. We have omnidirectional stepping, where we can step in any direction we want. But we also have being able to cover this ground space between us. Whether I need to get so far away, I can't reach you with one step. I might have to do a preliminary step, which I'm still open, so I can still circle that closed to go in, right? And again, I'll make a whole course on that thing that we did, that whole drill, right? So I need to be able to cover this, but mainly he's doing that for me. So he just came in and attacked. Thank you, right? So if he's going to attack me, I'm trying to like tell him to leave me alone. This also could be a target. Having a leg in front, be aware of that. He's going to kick it, be able to defend somehow. So if you go back, let's say I'm like that, and you're going to come in and kick my leg. So he goes kick. That's a problem. That's why we don't start with the leg in front, because he gets kicked. Now if you do kick, I could possibly kick you back, but I'm very stationary and stuck when I do that. I don't like to be on one leg as much as I can. I want to have my other foot on the ground, I can still move. So we start, again, in this character too. And a lot of Wing Chun people think you can't fight from here. This is the starting point, and it's a transition stance. From here, I have the ability to step into this position, but I don't start here because now, let's say if I'm on a line, and the way that the stance works is both feet, the centers of the feet are on that line. If you're gonna come over here and kick me, you can kick right down the line. I'm getting kicked. So if you go back, you kick again. If I'm gonna try to get that out of the way, it's my back leg kick, and it's getting my knee in a way that's really bad. If I try to get offline in the other direction with the same kick, I'm still gonna get hit there, just stomp my ankle. That's gonna do a lot of damage. So I want to not be starting here. The only time we're gonna be in this forward stance position is once we have already gone in, we are inside their stance. That's what that's for. We don't start at a distance like that. We start at a distance like this. Now, if you're going to, it doesn't really matter what you do, kick this way. I can step in with that and get in deep and not have to worry about that kick. Or not worry about the hands right now. That would be hitting at the same time. It's even more effective. With that same leg, kick this leg. Now we're going to step. Video. I'm going to step in with the same side leg. You kicked at this leg first. I circle that to go in. It saved it. Kick at this leg. I'm still going to circle with this foot. So just kick straight at that leg, at that knee. So that still gets me in and it's no longer there. If you're going to kick me straight up the middle, the same thing still works. And again, hands on top of that. So let's say if you're going to kick the middle again, notice my left leg or right leg does not matter. It affects the upper body and the lower body simultaneously. So it allows me to deal with kicks by being in this stance first. If I started like this, this is just a target. What do you have closest to him? Whatever's out there is a target. Be aware of that. If you had a knife, maybe you don't want to be in this position. You can cut it. You might have to get that out of the range or just have it back to the beginning. So I definitely don't want to put a leg up there that he could bend down and cut. Now you can't even run away. You just cut your leg. Cut a tendon or something. So you want to stay back as much as you can and make him have to come and get you. I'm not going to take the fight all the way over there. He could back up by the time I get there. Maybe. We have footwork that will be able to deal with that too. But for the most part, as I'm waiting on this attack, I'm just waiting here. He can dance around all he wants out there. Let's say if you're starting to circle around too. So if you're moving around, I can still move this. And I'm still waiting. By the time you actually close this distance to come in, you have all of these things that you can do and just do nasty stuff to them. But you have to be able to go in now. You can't like be stuck. Oh, I gotta go. It's too late. You gotta be fast with it. But that's the thing about the Long Ting lineage is we have that kind of movement. We have that kind of footwork. A lot of other Wing Chun people don't. And that's why they don't know how to do this, because they just don't have it. Whereas we do. So, good for us. So if we're going to be here again, and we're going to both go in and attack, you come in again very quick and violent. You try to win this encounter. Right? So we're both going in. Yeah, that first one, you just grab. It wants to be a punch, yes. You don't know if this is actually going to be there or not. If it's not there, it wants to be, I got to hit on the first movement, right? So you do that. And I'm doing the same thing. When it is there, you take it. Make it your own. No, you do it. Yep. And then you follow it with more attacks. Bam, bam, bam. So that being said, both of us are able to do that, right? So again, so it goes forward. Yes, no, you're good. That's how it works. So it's very quick and violent. I love that sequence. That works. You know, if I get that arm, I can have both of them and hit them. We have that hooking punch that two people. So that is a Wing Chun attack. And then you keep going. It'll back up. Where are you going? Right. So it wants to go in. Hands shoot forward into the attack. That's why you have to be really good. So that's it. There you go. And then wham, wham, wham. And part of it, a lot of it, is this pressure that you have. Being able to stifle his forward momentum where you can still manipulate the field. That takes all that chi sao skill. So where we have that, we can feel this direction, feel the fences. If I push out to the side, you should be able to go in and deal with that. If I attack, you can defend. If that gets up, you keep attacking. So taking that skill set and doing it from here, from this forward momentum going in, you're attacking. And really it's all about that touch. The moment that's there, you should be able to go in. So it should be very quick. The rounds for our sparring and Wing Chun are very fast. Again, it's not 5-minute rounds back and forth. It's just like you go in and you're there. So you try to hit me. You beat me up, you want to do that to me, there you go. So as you do that, I'm still able to fight back against that. So you want to be able to take this kind of speed of different attacks and don't let him get away. But it takes as long as it takes to get up. And that's the idea. You're just constantly going back and forth. And whatever's there is there. And then that's where that goes. And it's kind of chaotic, but that's how it is.